Is Donald Trump set to pull off another upset? With the 2024 election heating up, the former president is polling stronger than ever compared to his previous races against Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. And even though he's trailing Kamala Harris in most national polls, the gap is surprisingly tight, way closer than we've seen before. Could this mean a more competitive race than anyone expected? Let's dive into why Trump might be on track to defy the polls yet again, and what this could mean for the upcoming election. It's interesting to see how, even though he's trailing, the race might still be more competitive. It could be the same pattern where Trump outperforms expectations, or maybe this time, the polls will align with the results. Hard to say. A significant factor in Trump's potential success is the concept of the hidden Trump vote. This idea refers to voters who plan to support Trump but don't reveal their preferences in polls. Some pollsters still believe this group exists, though others are skeptical about its significance in this election. Trump, on the other hand, remains confident, citing a poll where he reportedly leads Harris by 3 points in Pennsylvania, a key swing state. Polling experts, however, caution that Trump's optimism may not necessarily reflect the final outcome. The whole hidden vote theory has been around for a while, and it's always a bit of a wild card. If it does exist, it could swing things. But then again, Trump's confidence might be more about strategy than reality, especially if the pollsters are right about it fading. Trump's campaign is built on the belief that a close race in the national polls could improve his odds of winning through the Electoral College, which is how he won in 2016 despite losing the popular vote. The 2024 election, like the previous ones, will likely be decided by results in key battleground states such as Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and North Carolina. Currently, polls in these states are within the margin of error, signaling an extremely tight contest. This really shows how much the Electoral College matters in the U.S. system. Even if you're behind in the national popular vote, winning key states can completely change the game. The closeness in battleground states is always a signal that things could go either way. In the 2020 race, Joe Biden had a much larger lead over Trump at this stage in the campaign, 10.3 percentage points, but the final results were closer than expected. He won both the popular vote and the Electoral College, but by tighter margins than polls had projected. Similarly, in 2016, Hillary Clinton led Trump by about 6 percentage points in the national polls, but ended up losing in the Electoral College, despite winning the popular vote. It's kind of surprising how the polls often show a bigger lead than what actually happens in the voting booth. Even with large polling leads, both Biden and Clinton saw much narrower victories or even losses in crucial states. It's a reminder that polling can only tell part of the story. Pollsters have made changes to their methods since 2020 in an attempt to better capture hidden or hard-to-reach voters, particularly those who are motivated by issues like inflation or anti-abortion laws. These issues could potentially drive higher voter turnout. Nevertheless, the outcome of the election remains difficult to predict. This sounds like a sensible adjustment. After the 2020 surprise, it makes sense for voters to fine-tune their methods. But even with those changes, predicting elections is still tricky, especially with so many variables like hot-button issues driving people to the polls. Historically, Trump has performed better than polls indicated, but Democrats may now have their own version of the hidden vote, benefiting from strong campaign financing and well-organized grassroots movements. Democratic strategist Simon Rosenberg argues that the race is too close to call, and the final results could resemble those of either 2016 or 2020, or take an entirely new direction. With swing states nearly deadlocked, the election is expected to be highly competitive and unpredictable until the very end. It's fascinating to think about the possibility of a hidden Democratic vote. With both parties having such strong resources and organization, it really feels like anything could happen. The fact that even experts think this race is too close to predict adds to the suspense leading up to Election Day.